That's what he's been saying to his missus for years.
Thanks, Anne. We're live. Welcome to the preview. Honestly, did you lot in the chat hear that? Evening and welcome to Grumpy Old Reds as we're going to look ahead to Palace versus Forest. We're also going to talk about Gibbs-White, and we've also got him here who's in the final. You're all right, Rich? He's still eating.
No, I'm good. I'm doing good. But yeah, let's just ease into this because I know you're not happy at the minute.
I'm just really annoyed, man. I was in a semi-good mood. And then Liverpool. Now I know why Ant hates Liverpool so much. Like,
Dirty.
That was a scum. Why did he rest 6 players? Like, seriously.
The entire midfield was changed. I mean,
why?
Yeah, they're not saving themselves for anything, are they?
No.
How much did they drink, man?
I'm just hoping that Palace do the same tomorrow, but we'll get onto that.
No, that's not happening. I can say that much. We've also got Ez. All right, Ez.
Yo. I'm here.
And all the way across from the pond, Nottingham born, bred and raised, we got Tom. How you doing, Tom?
I'm actually okay. Given the results we've had and this weekend's results that have kind of gone against us, I'm still feeling kind of positive.
You said we were going to win the league.
Oh, well, I said I was going to do lots of things and they didn't happen. Doesn't mean I don't say them.
I can relate to that.
To be fair, we say quite a lot of stuff that doesn't come true, to be fair.
I don't know. I've never been wrong. 60% of the time, I'm right every time. Anyway, I just feel like everyone's on the downer. Chat, how are you guys feeling? Final boss, how can you claim a masterclass when I think my under-14s team would have put a better fight against Chelsea than Liverpool did? It was that second goal, man. Like, talk about gifting them goals. Van Dijk off the back of Konza into an empty net is just comical errors, man. Honestly.
I bet Chelsea can't believe they look when they saw that team lineup.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, not only do they vastly weaken the team, but it shows where they're at regarding, competing. You know what I mean? They just weren't bothered about competing.
It doesn't help.
And you know what makes it worse?
It doesn't help.
Is it Villa or Man U that have got Tottenham and Manchester United in the last 2 games?
Villa.
Yeah. So they've got Tottenham and 2 teams that are who look likely to be in the final of the UEFA Cup. You know what I mean? It's like it couldn't have worked out any worse.
What doesn't help, Tom?
Well, what words of wisdom? We discounted that Chelsea were going to be in the run of things.
Yeah.
Even they didn't know, Tom. All the Chelsea fans
game of the season, Chelsea will be out of it. When in reality, if they turn up and play, they're not a bad side, are they? Let's face it.
No, they're not. But they've not been doing well. And no Chelsea fan. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and no Chelsea fan thought they had a snowball's chance in hell of getting Champions League. So they're as surprised as the
rest of them. They've been picking up points slowly and they're under the radar, aren't they? That's the thing.
Well, they've won 3 on the trot now, haven't they?
They've won 3 on the trot and they've gone up against the Liverpool side that didn't turn up. But we can't complain about our run of fixtures. If we looked at those fixtures running where we were, we can't complain. So everything's on us.
I still will.
We had an ideal end to the season. There's no doubt about that.
But before we played Everton, we were 93% certainties of getting top 5. We're now down to, I don't know what it's down to now because it was 59. We are technically 4 points adrift at the moment with a game in hand because of the goal difference.
Yep.
And we got him to deal with tomorrow. Rich, like from an outsider looking in, and forget you're on a Forest channel, right? I'm interested in your perspective of this as you see the table lying right now. So you got the only funny thing is Arsenal have dragged themselves back into this. We would be ahead of Arsenal if people hadn't messed up, or we hadn't messed up against Everton, etc. So it's crazy. By the way, there is a super chat, and I can't freaking find it. There it is. From my man Jay with the £2. He goes, "Evening, fellas. I'd let MGW go at the right price." We're about to come on to that, Jay. Thank you so much for the £2 and looking good in that picture, bro. Gotta say. Yeah, Rich. From an outsider looking in, how are you seeing this now? Arsenal are in second on 67 points. You've got City in third on 64. Then United and Newcastle and Chelsea both on 63. And then Forest on Villa on 60, but Forest with a game in hand. Rich, you look beautiful, by the way, right? Just play a weekend team tomorrow. So if we beat you tomorrow, like we would go level with them. I can't see it. But how are you reading this one? Who do you think is getting top 5 from an outsider looking in?
I'll be so annoyed if you don't get it. I really love teams to kind of break that whole big six sort of feel to it, and you will obviously win the running. It's not over yet. I guess obviously the remaining fixtures will play a big part, including tomorrow. What's Villa's last 3 games? Because
Villa,
I think they
last
might
2 are Man U
and Spurs. I'll tell you, actually, I've got it here. They've got Bournemouth away next. Villa. Sorry, they are Villa. They've got Spurs at home, and then Man U away last day of the season.
Yeah, they might get 7 points out of those 3. You know.
Yeah, because
that would put them
United
67.
and Tottenham are both likely to be in the Europa League final. Aren't they? So they're not going to be putting out their strongest side and flying into tackles, are they? Yeah. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I don't think Chelsea will make it either. So it'll be between you and Villa, actually.
Chelsea, so you don't think Chelsea will make it?
They will find
Newcastle's massive next week now, isn't it?
Chelsea will balls it up at some point. Like they've been poor. But it's just, I think it's frustrating on your end that you lot were clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So clear.
I think 7 points or something like that.
You know, it was lovely because all the other channels that you went on, when they were saying, "Oh, what do you think the top 5 are going to be?" Up until a couple of weeks ago, it was, well, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Forest are away. They're clear. So it's the rest of them, you know. And yeah,
my only saving grace is every time we have those 2 or 3 games that we lose or do badly in, and we feel like this, we come back and we put a string of wins together.
You know what, Tom? I kind of have been thinking about that, right? When I'm feeling the lowest about Forest, I'm like, yeah, we're done. We're relegation form. Suddenly, like, they just pull something out the bag. I remember when we were going into, it was the Brighton game, wasn't it? We just lost to Bournemouth 5-0 or whatever it was. I was like, yeah, we're done. We're just going to drop like a stone here. And then a random 7-0 comes out the bag. So maybe you're right, Tom. I don't know. Tomorrow,
it's just that we're playing so poorly, isn't it? That's the issue. If we're playing okay, even okay, but not quite getting the results, you could think, well, we can turn this around, but we're playing so poorly that you just can't see it. I mean, tomorrow's game is well, I mean, it's stating the bleeding obvious, isn't it? It's so important. I mean, if there were such a thing,
must win, Ant? Is it must win?
Say, if there were such a thing as a must-win game, tomorrow would be that. You know.
Oh, he's saying must win.
Well, we're getting to that time of the season. I'll never say when there's like 10 games to go, but when there's 3 games to go, 4 games to go, then you're getting really towards that time, aren't you?
Yeah, when the target's at top 5, and you got to say this is a must-win game going into the final few games with results that have gone the way they've gone. But so we couldn't have expected anybody to do us any favors, and we had a really good run of games, you know, on paper, and we haven't taken it anywhere close to advantage of it. So we've only got ourselves to blame. But I still wouldn't see whatever happens as a failure. It'll be a disappointment, obviously, from where we were. But it's been a great season, and we've done the double over Spurs, Man U, took 5 points off Liverpool. That alone is enough memories. For 7-0 at home, Brighton, you know, sat with these guys. So we will achieve something this season. It might not be what we wanted and what we were all obviously hoping for, but I can't see the season as a failure. It'll just be a huge disappointment.
It's not. Failure is a different thing.
I'd take Europa League now.
Well, yeah, Rich could screw us over. Rich could big time screw us over.
Well, we'll go into that. Yeah, you could do.
Yeah.
Rich, as much as we want you to win that cup, you know.
And you know what? I want us to get into the Champions League. Obviously, the amount of money, the prestige, the exposure, the players you can attract, all those things. Being in UEFA, I know this is going to sound like copium, but being in UEFA, we could actually win that. I mean, I've seen it this season, and the standard is not good.
Oh, you're in the acceptance phase. You're in the acceptance phase, man.
I am. No,
I'm in denial. I'm in the denial phase, man.
Yeah, denial of what, though? It's still it's not relegation, is it?
No one's saying it's failure, but this is the thing I disagree with you on, Ez. It's not failure. I think it's bottling it. There's a difference. There is. When you've been for 3 months in 3rd place in a row, when, as Anne said, everyone else is saying Forest are gone, let's worry about Chelsea and Villa and all that, right? I see that as bottling, man. Whether you think it's the players, the clubs, or whatever.
Bottling
it's the word, we were saying this the other night, it's the word.
Yeah, go on.
You know, if you say, oh, yeah, I think that in the end, the pressure told and the size of the squad and, you know, and all that like told, then that sounds quite reasonable, doesn't it? When you say bottling it, it puts, I mean, when people are saying Arsenal bottled it, I said then, no, they were just up against Manchester City.
But 93% of the season they were top.
Yeah. It was like us. It doesn't matter. 93% doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Well, when you look at right. Do you want the definition of bottle chop, right? A person or a team that consistently collapses under pressure or fails to maintain a lead in a game or competition. Like, you could just change the word "a person" to Forest.
But you can also look at the word consistently.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
We're not consistently doing it. This is our first time in this position.
Yeah.
So if we do it next year, we can say we bottled it, but I don't think so.
Bro, we bottled it. We're probably the only team to have bottled it in 3 divisions. We bottled it in the Oval. We bottled it 4 times in the Championship. And now I just look, and I don't think there's this big heat on bottle job. If it's a bottle job, it's a bottle job, man. I've called Arsenal fans bottlers the whole time, and they've held it. So we're gonna have to hold it because it's as good as gone. It's as good as gone, man.
No, I don't agree, but
if the team react like we are, I could probably think that we will bottle it.
But that's the problem, Tom.
They have been. Oh my God, we've bottled it. The next game that's coming up, we're going to lose. We're going to go to Palace and probably smash them.
But that's the problem. They have been doing exactly that. They've been going into each game looking.
I was just saying that to get a reaction out of the top corner.
I am not the one to get riled.
He's just sitting there happy clapping in his cup final, man, and all that. Right. Just before we get on to talking about the Palace stuff, I want to talk about Morgan Gibbs-White. And someone asked in the comments, where's Nuno's presser? I don't know. I don't know if he's done one. I haven't seen anything.
It's all right because we've heard it before.
Same thing, innit? Yeah. Just before we start on Gibbs-White, Red 54 with the 6 months. Thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate it. Martin, my man Martin with the 199 says, gut feel we finish 7th and drop into conference. Martin, you're so negative.
I don't think you will. I've looked at your fixtures. You're beating both Leicester and West Ham at least.
I'm not confident we beat Leicester.
Man, we've just lost at home to Everton and Brentford, Rich.
Yeah, but this is Leicester.
He just won. They just going into our game off the back of their first win in about a millennium.
Yeah, against Southampton.
I know, man. Like, chat, just all while you're in the chat. Are you worried about Leicester?
Look, all right, the Everton one, fair enough, but we must say Moyes has done a great job with Everton.
Yeah, but then he went and freaking gave 6 points away against our oppositions and the chase, Rich. Like literally the next week and the week after, Man City and then Chelsea, man.
But then even with Brentford are an annoying side.
I
think they've got just about the best away record since January or something. They've won loads of games away from home.
They're a good side, yeah. So
big up.
No offense, Rich, but we're supposed to be fighting for 3rd in the table and have this fabulous home record. and we've won lots of games. So yes, if it was like last season and we were struggling, then you could think, yeah, Brentford. But if your ambitions are to get into the Champions League, then you shouldn't be losing 2-0 at home to Brentford near the end of the season. That's just not good enough, is it?
Just a loaded question here. What's gone wrong?
I'll hand that one over to Ant.
There's a few things that have gone wrong. We've had a few very strategic injuries that really have affected, particularly our defence. And without our defence, we're not even half the side, are we? Let's be honest. Our defence is what's got us where we are. So those few weeks with Aina missing were massive, because we not only missed Aina, but then we had to move Nico over from the left to the right. We had to bring in an inferior player on the left. So that back four was really disrupted. So that's one of the reasons. And we've stopped scoring goals. We've had injuries to Hudson-Odoi and Elanga. They never seem to be both quite fit at the same time. So that's made a difference to our attacking prowess. We've not got a midfield anyway. So you've got three parts of the team that are all dysfunctional for one reason or another. And then on top of that, I do think the pressure's got to them. Up until just before the Everton game, the words Champions League qualification were never mentioned by any player, by the manager. It was always, no, there's a long way to go. It's the next match. Then all of a sudden, they started mentioning Champions League and fighting for the places. And we want to do it for the fans and all that lot. Kind of putting pressure on themselves in a way. And, and I think that pressure does have an effect on the way players perform. I really believe. I think you can see that quite often.
I think you can see it as well, and can't you? You could see it in the players in the last two home games. It was quite visible. They weren't confident on the ball. They were making rash challenges. There were unforced errors.
And also, sorry, just to finish off what I was saying. Just the last little bit. Nuno, I think, is bricking it. And he's really reverting to ultra negative tactics. Now, you may say we've been negative all season. No, what we've done all season is contain the opposition and then broken scored and won games. What we're doing now is just defending. We're not even trying to break, it doesn't seem like. We leave nobody up the pitch. And we played Everton, who aren't the biggest scorer of goals in this competition. And we started off with like 8 men at the back, inviting them onto us. That's not the way you play against Everton. You shouldn't be doing that. You should have the confidence in yourselves, especially the way we've played football this season, to press forward a bit. We've still got a good defence. If we press forward a little bit at home, and let's face it, if that had been the case, Everton would have defended then, but they didn't need to defend. And they were all over us. And this is Everton. So all those things combined, I think.
How many of our players do you think are carrying knocks?
I think a lot of them. But that's not unusual, Tom. That's not unusual.
I just want to see Tom's full background. There we go. Look at that.
The only other thing I would add to what Ant's already said, and probably he alluded to, but it also highlighted our lack of strength and depth with our squad.
Yes.
So when we were losing those key players, we just didn't have a quality to come in and replace them. And that's telling right now, So all in all, I can't disagree with anything that Ant said there. That's a good summarization of maybe where it's going wrong or has gone wrong in the last.
But Ezra, would you not argue that last time when we played Brentford, that was probably arguably one of our strongest teams?
It was, but that's where you could see, like say, nerves, fear, whatever you want to call it. The players have not been playing them as well as they can do. Certainly, as well as we've seen in transitions, basic passing. Yes, on the last home game, we couldn't string 2-3 passes together. We were given the ball by Brentford and we couldn't do anything with it. So there is an element of teams. Yeah, there is an element of teams like finding us out as well, if you want to say that, but in that situation, what we've always done all season is play the ball long, expect to lose it and let them attack us and then we counter-attack. But we were trying to play it out from the back. So Nuno's game plan is all over the place. I've hinted at him being a bit of a tinkerman over the last, half a dozen games or so. And I think it has shown nerves from him as well. So there's a lot of things, a lot of factors in play, but all leading to how we're playing at the moment. He's got to turn it around. And I do believe one result could turn it all around. And we're kind of hoping it's going to be tomorrow night, Rich, for all we wish for,
And also, Rich, this is the guy who wears our number 9 shirt. It's
Rich,
so,
I'm gonna ask you.
but anyway,
I am not saying a word, because if I say something, he'll probably score tomorrow. So I'm keeping quiet.
He's probably going to do that.
At one time, not so long ago, perhaps a year or so ago, 99% of people, fans, certainly at Forest and possibly elsewhere, would have said, rather have Taiwo than Mateta.
Yeah.
And look at the way that those two guys have gone.
Yeah,
I said that. I remember him destroying Anderson. I was like, oh my God, this guy's a problem.
I can't remember that. All right, let me catch up with the super chats. We have to talk about Morgan Gibbs-White, and then we need to get into the Palace game. A lot to get on with here. Guys, there's already over 400 in here. 76 likes. Let's get that. It should be at least 150 now. So let's at the very least get it to 100. Get those likes up. Make sure you're following us on all our socials. You can scan those QR codes, or the mods can chuck it there for you in the chat. Chris with the £2 says Champions League is still in our hands. At least for 24 hours, bro. At least for 24 hours it is. Big up to you, Chris. Thank you for the £2. Andy, my man Andy with the $4.99 says, thank you for your service, but time to go. Anderson is ready and waiting, and we can put most of that from money into a striker. Most of that money, I think he means, into a striker. Literally what we're about to talk about now, Andy. Thank you so much, buddy. And Chris with another £2 says, we've had the same midfield all season. Midfield has been the problem all season. 100%.
It's one of the most changeable positions that we've had all season.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me. No, it's not in our hands.
It is in our hands.
It will be, because they've got to play each other, aren't they? Newcastle and Chelsea have got to play each other, so points will be dropped.
Even if they didn't, it's still. Even if they didn't, it's still.
No, it can't be, because if we win our game in hand, then we're level on points with.
Oh, come on, man! We played Chelsea. If we beat Chelsea, Chelsea won't get 3 points, so we would go ahead and therefore would be in the top 5. Man. Come on.
No,
come on. I know you're tired. I know you're tired.
It's been a hard weekend with football. I tell you.
It's a tough 2 weeks, man. It's been a tough 2 weeks. All right, let's jump into this Morgan Gibbs-White. I want to come to Tom first on his take. So for those of you who didn't see the video earlier, check it out after this. Actually, don't check it out after the stream, because we're jumping across to Rich's channel. This will redirect you to there as well. Make sure you're subscribing to the legends over there. But Romano has tweeted that Manchester City are advancing their move onto Gibbs-White. I'm paraphrasing his tweet right now, and they expect to make a move in the next couple of weeks. They've also said that terms are not expected to be a problem, but Forest want to keep Gibbs-White. Tom, what's your take on this? One, are you buying it that the City interest is real? And would you keep or sell Gibbs-White? We got a poll in the chat. Get your votes in. Would you keep or sell Gibbs-White? Tom, what are you saying?
I am hoping the rumors are true.
Ooh.
I am. Okay. I think the money that we can take from the sale of Morgan Gibbs-White, along with the money that if we do get to the Champions League, we can put together a midfield capable of fighting the battles we need to fight. We can get a number 10 that's not going to play every single ball in a fanciful way, and somebody that could hopefully put the ball in the back of the net, because as good as his endeavours are and his pursuit when he's on the pitch, and I'm not saying he doesn't give his all, he's still not I don't think he's the finished article, and I think we can replace him with someone that is.
What would you want as a minimum for him, Tom?
85.
85. Wow.
Do you think, Tom, has your opinion changed throughout this season? Would you have said differently earlier on this season, or has it changed due to his recent form?
No, because I think Morgan Gibbs-White's that player that we all know he's got the potential, and we're still waiting for it to happen. And I think we need to bring in players that lift the whole team rather than having one show pony. It's not the same as when we lost Collymore and the whole side went downhill after that, because he's not that type of player. He's not putting 30 goals a season in the back of the net. I think you can replace him with someone that does an equally good job, and the money that we have, You know, that's exactly that comment in the chat.
I was actually going to ask you about this because you mentioned about Morgan Gibbs-White has all the endeavour.
What have you started here, God?
He has the endeavour and stuff, but he doesn't. And I'm seeing the chat saying that he doesn't score enough. But Eze scores, but I don't think for us we're unhappy with. Sometimes he's inconsistent and maybe doesn't have the fight and endeavour as a Morgan Gibbs-White. So as it stands today, would you make that change? That was my question.
A straight swap.
Put those hands together, Rich. Put those hands together and get Cunha. That's what I say, man.
No, I just think that there are options out there that we can go pick up 2 players, one that will replace him like for like and add a few more goals, and have another player there. And we're in the process of building. We're not it's like we've been in the Premier League 3 years now, right? Are we established? Are we one of the top 10? Well, we would be next season if we add. But how much can we add? How much money are we allowed to spend? If we get a silly figure for Morgan Gibbs-White and invest it in the right way and put some faith in the recruitment side, maybe pick up a couple of your players cheaply, we're going to be good.
I just think for me, I'll come to the boys. I agree. I've got it planned out in my head now, whether or not Forest can do this. But if we got, say, 85, right? Let's say I think Man City want to spend 75, Forest want 100. Let's just call it 85 for the sake of it now. Now, I think we owe Wolves 10% on the sell-on fee of that. So that would be what, 8.5 mil. And the PSR on the PSR books, I think there's 16 mil still open on Gibbs-White. So all the rest is profit. Why would we not then go and get Cherky from Lyon, 29 mil release clause? I think he can play either 10 or on the right wing. So we've got someone who can play 2 positions there. He's a goal scorer. I think he's a quality player. That's 30 mil. And then he's still probably got another 40. Actually, it works out more than that because then you do the amortization on it all.
Yeah.
And it becomes more. So that 85 mil probably is net 280 mil to what you can then go and spend because obviously you're breaking it up over the 5 years. So I would do that and then get a damn 6 and another striker. Morgan Gibbs-White could probably pay for this summer's spending. That's how I see it. And what do you think?
Yeah, there's a lot of ifs and buts here. I'd be surprised if Man City really. I know the stories. I accept that. And if they are interested in him, I have not got a clue why. He will be an absolute disaster in that team because Pep likes to keep hold of the ball. He doesn't like to keep losing it. And in Morgan Gibbs-White, you've got a player that's consistently losing it and losing it in bad ways as well. He doesn't, as you say, he doesn't score enough goals. Now that doesn't bother me too much. If he was more creative and he did more with the ball when he had it, then I could forgive 5 goals a year. We get our goals from elsewhere. But the fact of the matter is, he isn't what we need right now. The midfield is an embarrassment. So I would certainly let him go. The problem is, I don't know where you're getting 85 million from. I really don't. I think we'd be lucky. I think we'd be lucky to get 60 million for him. I think we'd be lucky.
Would we sell him at that though? We wouldn't.
Well, I don't think we would. No, I don't think we would. So I can see him being here next season. The only thing that might change that is if he kicked up a force. And if these rumours are true, and I don't believe them myself, but if they are true that he's been up, with Foden, looking at houses and stuff in Manchester, I don't believe that because there's far too many other things to sort out. But if that were true, then that's a terrible indictment in MGW. It might explain some of his appalling performances of late.
Do you think his head is turned?
If it's true, then that shows his head is turned.
Yeah.
His performance has been dreadful since this has all been a rumour. His performance has been dreadful. And if he wants to go to Manchester City and makes that clear, then that obviously affects our bargaining power as well. So I don't think we're going to get this 85 million. I don't think there's a chance in hell.
They paid 100 for Grealish.
They could have got, but they could have got Gomares for 100 million in January because of his sell-on clause. They didn't want to do that. They didn't want to spend 100 million on Gomares. And are you telling me they're going to spend 85 million on?
But do you know what? Do you know the other factor, Ant, that you're missing out is the homegrown factor, Premier League tax, English tax.
I accept that, but you don't need to spend 8 million. You can spend 1 million and get a kid in, or get a 25-year-old kid in who's never going to play for
in the squad somewhere. Yeah,
you know, yeah. So you don't need to spend 85 million to get an English player in. So, in my opinion, I'm doubtful it'll happen unless another team comes in for him. I don't think we'd sell, like as mentioned to me. I don't think we'd sell him for 60. And I can't see.
Bobby's agreeing with you, mate. Bobby's saying we won't get that much.
Yeah.
Must be that generation, Bobby, isn't it?
When
we know ball. We know ball.
I was just going to say to Rich, when this was first bandied about, I cheekily said, well, why not look at getting Grealish in on a part cash deal? And I'd still go for something like that. You know, there's players. He's a player that
Grealish and McAtee for him. I'd do that.
There are players, there's players at Man City that we were linked with McAtee on the last two
a lot,
not summer and the January one, and nothing came through. But he's another player. So there are a couple of players at Man City that I would actually be interested in, and I think could better our team. And I'm happy. I'd be looking to do a deal like that, but just a straight out £60 million offer, we're not going to accept that. I don't think we don't need to sell. That's the main point. We do not need to sell. So Man City would have to put in an offer that's going to turn our heads as well as. And if MG Dub's head is turned by these rumours, which it is possible because we've seen what his relationship's like with Foden, we are very close. Then you can't change that. So it's just a matter of making that happen and making sure we maximise the deal. And for me, a player plus cash deal is what I'd be looking at, really.
Can I just say one more thing? Sorry, just one more thing. I was watching LB the other day. A lot of Man City fans, no, they don't want him, right? Because they're used to seeing the likes of De Bruyne and Silva and the other Silva and players like that. Do you know what I mean? And they said if they did have him, it definitely wouldn't be as a 10. He ain't replacing De Bruyne. Yeah, they put him in the 8, which we've all said is his better position. Yeah. So there we go.
Yeah, they do also have a buyback on Delap for 20 mil. Okay, so let me just catch up on the super chats. We got 500 nearly in here. 132 likes. Come on, guys. We should be well over 200 by now. Right? Everyone take a quick second. Hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well. Chris with another £2 here says, MGW ain't daft. He's a bench player at City. So why would he want to go? Unless
not for 85 million. You know, mind you, Grealish is, I suppose.
Well, you say that he's 100 million sitting on the bench. How much did they pay for Nico Gonzalez? He's not regular and won't be next season with Rodri back. So I don't think they care. I actually don't think they care. You know, I was talking to Nick earlier.
This might be more to do with MG Dub's England ambitions. You know,
that's what I thought. Yeah,
he has to go to a bigger club to get that move into.
To be honest, if he was in the Champions League, I don't think it made the slightest bit of difference which club did that. And not only that, Adam Wharton's in the England squad. He's not playing for Champions League place and people like that. Eze is in the England squad. He's not playing. So it's a load of bollocks. Load of bollocks.
No, I agree, but there's not many in Wharton. I don't think there's much competition in Wharton's position, to be honest. I think he's head and shoulders above everyone.
Well, where do you think MGW would get in?
And he should be starting next to Declan Rice.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a deeper player, isn't he?
Yeah.
Rich, how much is he worth?
It's going to be a lot of money now. I'll tell you that. In this current market, I'll be upset if we didn't get anything close to 80 for the morning.
80.
Oh, easy. He's worth that. He's worth that.
He's still. Don't forget, he's only 21.
Is he going? Do you think he's going?
I think he's one of 4 that I'm worried about.
Gone.
Eze and Guehi.
Hold on, let me get my pen and paper. Wait, gone.
Let's get our shopping list out.
Eze and Guehi, I think, are like proper definites.
He's come out and said today. There's been reports saying he's done, isn't it? Eze.
Yeah, he basically said, listen, I want 6 players because I want to build the squad to be physically stronger next season if it means sacrificing Eze. So he wouldn't want him to go, but if we have to sell Eze to then build, that's what Glasner's thinking right now. The other 2 are Mateta and Wharton. So those are the 4.
I would take
just touching what you said there, Rich. That's a very similar position we're in with MG, what you just said about Eze. And I feel any positive price tag we get on him can really help us invest in this squad. And we do need a squad that's going to compete at least on 2 or 3 fronts next season, which we haven't had so far. So, yeah, I think we're in a very similar situation with that.
Let me just catch up on the super chats. And then let me just, sorry, Anne, because we're tight tonight because we've got to jump onto Rich's after as well. Let me catch up on this one. Matt with the 4.99. He says, UCL, we keep our key players and strengthen a bit. Europa League, we accept selling Gibbs-White and Murillo, but strengthen a lot, creating depth. UCL on the balance, Europa. Bro, I want to hear the UCL music. I can't have Europa after I've cussed Nick and my brother down all season for being in it.
Yeah, well, that's your problem. We've not done that. So.
I got a lot of problems coming up, man. Thank you, Matt, for the 4.99. Ben is away. He's on annual leave from FFTV out on his cruise, but he's still chucking in 9.99, the legend. He goes, on this European cruise to suss out the Champions League competitors. And whilst I'm out here, I see us effectively drop out of the Champions League running. Turn this boat around. P.S. Don't sell Gibbs-White. He's my boy. That's because you bought his poster thing, didn't you, bloody idiot? So that's why he's going. Shout out to Ben, man. Enjoy your trip away. And $20 from Tariq Rashid. He says, thank you for the 20, bro. He goes, I'm here to support the brothers and wish you luck for the rest of the season. Although you lads gave us a hard time, a Liverpool fan. Bro, you got your revenge today, right?
Yeah,
you got your revenge today,
mate. You let us down today. Like first time in my life I wanted Liverpool to win, and you let me down.
I've been nothing but nice to Liverpool because you've done the 20 thing and pissed off the Man U fans. So I don't mind Liverpool. I ain't old like him, right? The hatred, I wasn't born for it. I just hate Man United. So big up to you, man. Congratulations on leveling Man U. If we don't win it next year, overtake them. That will really piss them off. Thank you very much, bro. Okay. Right, guys, get them likes up.
That point to Rick. Oh, go on then. I've got a point to make.
Well, I want to get into the preview.
Well, let me make this point, and then we can. It's only a quick one.
Go on, then.
If I were you, Rich, I'd be less worried. The person I'd be most worried about leaving would be your manager, because I think he's absolutely brilliant.
No, absolutely.
You know what I mean? I'm not suggesting. By the way, I'm not suggesting he will leave. I'm just saying he's more, to me, he's more important than losing a Gueye or whatever. Because what he's done at that club is great, and the way you play football as well is lovely to watch.
Yeah, he's really turned things around. I mean, I think Tottenham sniffing around, RB Leipzig as well. So look,
I'm not surprised.
We're not expecting to keep him for like forever and ever, but give us 2 more years and we'll be happy.
Yeah. I get that.
You know what, Rich? Right. I was just gonna say, when he started crap at the start of the season, I got a lot of people came at me saying, "This is the guy you wanted to replace Cooper. Have you changed your mind?" I was like, "Oh, I was like, it's an irrelevant point."
They were asking me if I wanted him gone. I'm like, "No."
Yeah, we were having that conversation. Do you remember when we played earlier on in the season? You're like, "Nah," but there are some people thinking about it.
Yeah.
And it's just
that semi-final against Villa was one of the best performances I've seen from a footballing point of view from a team. It was absolutely brilliant.
We could have had 7 goals in that
game. Yeah.
Mitchell's miss, man.
Never in doubt. We should score that.
Bro, Mitchell's miss was like Taiwo's touch, man. Literally identical. All right, let's get into this preview, right? So, even Ant's admitting this is a must-win. Let's start with you, Rich. Let me ask the question that we all want the answer to. Are you going to rest everyone and play the kids?
Well, not unfortunately. If we do, I'll be very surprised. Here's why. Because even before the semi-final, we had 3 games in a week. He made 2 changes against Arsenal. we've had no football since obviously winning at Wembley, so he's probably going to go full strength.
He's going to be rusty then.
Maybe, all well rested. It depends how you see it, you know. He's a manager that he kind of wants to have momentum, you know, and I think that was kind of evident because after we beaten Fulham, we then drew with Southampton away. We beat Brighton, and then we had 2 back-to-back.
How did you draw with Southampton away, bro?
I'm going to explain why. Then we had 2 back-to-back massive defeats. And I think the whole emotions of it all really got to us. We're fortunate that we've had that week's break. So he literally gave them until Thursday to return to training. He said, get this all out your system, because we've got to lock in for the rest of the season. He will want to win every game going into that final. And that's just his mentality. Like, he doesn't care about resting players. So, I don't think he'll do it.
All right, then, Rich. So on the other foot, if he does play all your players, do you think those players will be fully committed?
I'm going to say yes.
Opium.
Yeah, no, you know what? I'm going to say yes.
I'm a drowning man here.
No, you know what? I'm going to say yes because I was worried about that happening before the semi-final. And they I wouldn't say they took the foot of the gas. I just think we were defensively terrible. We just made mistakes. And it showed because that Arsenal game before 3 days before we played Villa was probably one of our best away performances. You should have won. We should have won that game. And that
I wish you had.
That was with the two changes. That was with Eddie and Nketiah starting up front, who I think had a good game that game. So when you think about what Glasner is instilling in all of them, Daichi Kamada, who I've been very critical of all season, the last 3 or 4 games, he's been amazing. Starting next to Adam Morton, so that's a good sign for us that no matter who comes in, they're giving their all. And I don't think it'll be different tomorrow.
Tom, we haven't lost to Palace since we've been back up. We've won 2, I think, and then drawn the others. I think, someone correct me, have we drawn every single one at Selhurst Park? The last 2 we've been, I think 0-0 and 1-1.
Yes.
It was the final day season one first year, and then Murillo's run last year, if memory serves, which it doesn't usually. Do you see any hope tomorrow, Tom? If, as Rich says, they're going full squad, full strength, and everything else, give us some of your happy clapper vibes, bro.
I think if we stop Wharton playing, that we have a very, very good chance because having watched a couple of Palace's games, a lot of their football comes through him. And okay, we've been on a bad result. We do know how to bounce back, and we need the points. Palace are in an FA Cup final, which they haven't been in for how many years?
I think they went against Man U, wasn't it? It was Man U the other
2016 was the last one.
Yeah, so you imagine the players have got one eye on that. Yes, they're probably going to go out and want to perform to be in the final team to make the final. But I just think, given the circumstance that we're under, if we get the first goal, we'll win the game. As long as we close down Wharton. I think it's a big game for Sangare because I'd bring him in and I'd play him against Wharton. I'd have him matched against Wharton. And I'd just take him out of the game totally. Maybe drop Gibbs-White and put Danilo up front. Start with the midfield that Nuno wanted to start with before injuries. And just go for it. It's like what we've been doing hasn't worked. He's tinkered. He's played around with the system. We just got to do something different. Sides have worked us out. But I think if we stop that middle of the pitch, everything coming through Wharton, I think we got a really good chance of beating them.
Do you think going for it benefits you though? Because you're like us.
No, when I mean go for it, I mean play the style that we play, and in the transition, go for it. When we have that chance, go for it, which we haven't been doing.
Right. So we're basically waiting on each other to attack. It's going to end in
and that doesn't normally end well.
I think if Wharton's not on the ball, you don't attack very much.
You'll be surprised. Because there's been times where teams have tried to mark Wharton out the game, and we just have Daniel Munoz run up the field. Like he's an absolute monster. He is as a right fullback. So we'll have other avenues.
And that's what I'm worried about.
What are you saying? Are you worried?
Well, it's well documented that how many games I expected us to win towards the end of the season, and this was one of the ones that I didn't think we'd get too much out of, and I'm still that doesn't change.
Rich, just in case, because he's kind of glazed over it a little. This was Ez's prediction.
I don't care. Call me what you like. Call me happy clapper. Call me overly optimistic. You know, I didn't expect us to be dropping.
Rich knows the only realistic line there. And shout out to Curtis as well. No, he's in the chat. He's Lemmy in there. Is there okay? Not as good as mine though.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Not on there. It'd have been 84.
I was expecting this to be a difficult game as it is. The pressure's on us, you know, and this is what the only thing that I can hope will go in our favour. That, in fact, the pressure's not on us. We're now the underdogs. You know, we're out of those positions. It's up for us to make up those lost points and make up those positions. And we might find out that works better in our favour rather than being sat in third place for 3/4 of a season and then bottling, as some people will say. I'd rather we were chasing from behind. And so if this could work in our favour, it does depend on two teams that don't want the ball tomorrow. So it's going to take probably a set piece. A set piece may be the difference tomorrow night. And neither of us have looked too threatening from those in the last couple of games. So, yeah, it's going to be a stalemate for a majority of the games.
We're second in the set piece thing.
Oh, have you scored decent? Okay, well, I'll scratch that then. So, as long as we don't concede any,
that's all he was holding on to, Rich.
Yeah, scratch that as well, mate. I'm happy with a 0-0 tomorrow, to be honest. But yeah, I always thought this was going to be a difficult game, and nothing changes that for me.
Can I just let you know the record? It's Forest and Palace have played 68 times. Palace have won 16. It's been 22 draws, and Forest have won 30. So, you know, we did traditionally do okay against Palace, but, you know, it doesn't mean a great deal. I accept that.
Man, the hopium in Anne tonight is the next
I tell you, I'm a drowning man. I need someone to throw me a lifeline.
Let me try and, like, get you to give him a little more hopium, right? Who scares you at Forest? And you can't say no one.
Anderson.
Ooh.
I've always liked the look of Anderson. He's a good player.
He had a stinker last game, bro, so don't worry.
Yeah, but I mean, even like when we came to your ground, like he dictated everything. He was everywhere,
it is good.
You know.
Do you know what, Rich? He played in the 10 that night, if I remember rightly.
Yeah,
I think Gibbs-White wasn't in the team, so yeah.
We couldn't deal with him. We had no answers for him. So I do obviously like Ola Aina as well. He's a proper fullback. You know. And look, we can't look. Gibbs-White is quality. Like, I mean, if he had a bit of luck last weekend, that hits the crossbar and goes in. He doesn't overhit the one where he goes around the goalkeeper, you know, and stuff. Yeah, you got.
Is that it? Is that what you got for me?
I'm not going to name the whole team. I'm not going to name the whole team. I
didn't ask you to name the whole team, man. Just give it a little more, man. Like,
no, 6 weeks ago he was frightened of everybody. Now he's not frightened of anybody. Let's be honest. That's the bottom line.
Let's see. Elanga. No, Mitchell's been good, so I think he'll be all right against Elanga.
Well, D was saying to me that he reckons Mitchell gets dropped for Chilwell.
We've been thinking this for time, but the last time it was meant to happen, Chilwell got ill, so I can't. I don't know.
Chilwell played
a few games. Like Chilwell was meant to start against Arsenal, and he got ill, so he'll probably be ill again tomorrow. So this is what I say. I can't call it. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Is there any chance that Matt Turner starts?
No.
Don't worry about the whole parent club thing and everything, right?
We'll pay.
Even with the ruling,
we'll pay for him to play.
He won't be on the bench, and it definitely won't be Remy Matthews. So yeah, it'll be Dean Anderson.
It'll be Dean. I mean, Hendo gave us a favor, Tom, last time where he let that one through his hands against Chris Wood from distance. Like, do you still feel there's a bit of redness in Hendo? And he's like, I don't like the South London, you know. Yes, I can do my weekly shop straight after the match at Sainsbury's, but like, does he want to be back? He misses the Hooters and all that. Do you still feel maybe Hendo can do a little bit of a favor?
Let's send a memo to Murillo. Just shoot on sight.
I think that what we've got to do tomorrow is be hard, be tough, crunching tackles, because like I say, although Rich maintains that they'll put their whole hearts in, I think if strong tackles go in, they're not going to want to get injured. It's 2 weeks to the cup final today. They're not going to want to get injured. So if we actually crunch into a few tackles, they're going to start to think, don't fancy this. Again, Rich, I'm grasping, mate.
Yeah, we're grasping because
but I do think that's valid, though. That we should go in there.
We haven't left London in about a month.
Is that true? Is that true? You were at Man City
and Newcastle away like within 3 days.
Where'd you get that from, Chris? All right, let's cover some team lineups, right? Who wants to kick us off on the Forest ones? Like, Ez, what would you go on this Forest team? Formation and stuff.
All being fit, I wouldn't change from a starting lineup against
Cho won't be fit.
Cho won't be fit. So Cho's out. Then for Cho, I think you've called for him for a couple of weeks now. I'd give Jotovac a start. In Cho's place.
Wait, who did you say you've called him? Me?
Yeah. I think you've been calling for.
I won't put Jota on, bro. What are you
Sosa?
No, not
Sosa, mate.
Sorry, Sosa.
Oh, I was going to say, man, that was Greg.
On the left wing.
Yeah, so the only change from a starting lineup I'd make is probably Sosa for Cho. Other than that, you go with the back four as long as they're fit. I don't think you go for a back three tomorrow because neither team's going to want the ball. So it's not as if they're going to be pushing forward, wave after wave. So I don't expect that type of game anyway tomorrow. But yeah, so that's the only change I'd make. And you got to expect these players are good enough to get something tomorrow. A point would do. I'd take a point right now. Anything more is obviously a bonus, but I'd take a point right now. No, I reckon no.
You know what, Mark? If he did that, I'd rate it. I can never see it happening. But I mean, we haven't got 6 at the moment. No. I can't see it. And to be honest, Morata's been quite...
I'd much rather put Sangare in at 6.
Yeah. Well, what are you saying, Tom? What team would you go with? What formation? Would you change it up from the 4-2-3-1?
I would. I'd play a 4-4-1-1 with Elanga sitting in the holding position. I'd put Anderson out onto the left.
Okay.
Dominguez on the right. I'd play Sangare and Yates in the centre.
Okay.
So that I'm playing Sangare to keep control of, because I think he's one of our best passers and moves the ball forward. So I think, he's got the defensive prowess. He can move the ball forward. Let Yates do his housery, because I think we're going to need some of that. And then I just think Elanga and Wood have that combination. And if you've got Elanga floating around that front positions, I think we've got a better chance of getting I would say 1-0 win, but I think we'll win it 3-0.
Ooh. I just can't believe a word that comes out of his mouth, man, because he still thinks we're going to win the title.
Clip it, 3-0.
All right, but Tom, Dominguez on the right, bro.
The hat trick.
Oh, wait, are you dropping MGW in that?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. But Dominguez on the right, like, I just don't think he's been good out wide. Right, I think he's been better being a bit of a terrier in the middle and shit.
Well, he's going to be great on Monday night.
I don't know, chat. Can you see a 4-4-1-1? Do you think we'd have enough bodies in the middle? Are you playing that Belland, Rich? Sheepshugger. Is he still getting a game?
Who's that?
Will
Fee. Will Fee. Like I said, Daichi Kamada started the last 2, so I don't know. It could be
he
him.
Tends to play against
they love him down. Will Hughes, they love him down there, don't they? The fans are always singing his name.
In all honesty, he's going to be the contenders player of the season.
So why has he been dropped? He was ill, and Kamada came in, and Kamada's played well the last 2. So Glasner said, "I'm not changing it." All right, so he won't play them. He will.
I don't think he will. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't call it. I don't know what's going to happen. The only thing I'm starting
having you on, Rich, man. All I'm getting is I don't know that you, man. I want to know the team. I want to know what kids are playing,
This is what's definite, right? Henderson's going to go and goal. The back 5 will stay the same. The only question mark will be Tyreek Mitchell, whether him or Chilwell will start. Adam Walton will start in midfield. It's a question mark as to who his partner will be. The front 3 will stay the same.
So you do know. So you just sandbagging.
I said the 2 positions I don't know, and you're upset about it. You stop crying about it, mate.
You can't win, mate. You
Look,
can't
mate,
win.
right. Look, you could screw us over twice, right? Just bear that in mind, Rich.
Us.
Yeah, you. I know we've been
Yeah.
mates
Screwed
for ages,
yourselves
right?
over. Don't blame us.
No, right. Look, we've been mates for ages, right?
We have been.
But it may end if this screw job happens, right? Because if you beat us tomorrow, you've basically taken us out of Champions League. If you then go and win the FA Cup, which on the record I do want you to do, and you take that place out of the league, and then Villa overtake us, you're going to put us in the conference.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not going to fall that far down. You'll be fine. Like I said, you're beating
Only
Leicester.
Villa have to overtake us now, bro. Only Villa for that to happen.
You're going to beat Leicester and West Ham, so you're fine.
And Chelsea.
And Palace.
Actually, you know what? I think so.
Oh, really?
It just feels so depressing, man.
Do you want my team? Do you want my team?
No, not really. Let me just do the super chats. Right. Ben with another 4.99. He goes, the good thing about being on a cruise to watch the match is I can just jump over. If we win, I'll get drunk and do that too. What happens if we draw, man? It's gonna be a draw. I'll tell you that now. I was asking what happened to the winger we bought in Jan, Nadala. He's in the youth squad. He is a baller, so I can't wait to see him. He's an absolute baller. Go on then, and no, wait, we're 18 away from 200 likes, guys. Let's get over 200 likes. Still well over 400 in the chat. Don't forget, straight after this, we're jumping across to Rich's channel. This will redirect you there. We're gonna have. Oh shit! I just saw the time. Have we got 2 minutes still, Rich? Are we good for 2 minutes?
Yeah, we're good. I told him to start with us anyway.
All right, cool. And give us your team. Give us your team.
Usual back five, and then I'm going for and midfield of Anderson 4-3-3. Anderson. Anderson.
I still go to him last, right, to give him time, and he still can't do it. Right, honestly, every time.
Yates or Dominguez. I prefer Dominguez, but I wouldn't mind Yates there with Sangare at the 6. Okay, and then the front three of Sosa, Wood, and Ilanga.
So you're dropping MTW
as well.
Yeah, it's been all. Look, we love him all this time, but it's been awful.
So you just copied my team, is what you're saying?
I have no idea what your team is. Is your team the same as mine? No, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know what your team was.
Mine was Sangare. Anderson, Sangare, and Dominguez across the middle. Sosa, Wood. So you just copied me, basically.
No, I've not copied you. We just think alike. Okay.
That's not good.
That's Syria.
You haven't copied it, but it's just the same.
Yeah, well, I don't know what he's going to say, do I, before I put mine down?
This video went out yesterday, I think, man. It was there yesterday.
I thought I was being really radical.
Radical, man. He was expecting some mic drop moment. Yeah. Gibbs-White will definitely start. There's no two ways about it.
Definitely.
Yeah, it'll definitely start. All right, let's do score predictions, and me and Richard got to jump across. Tom, you said 3-0. Are you sticking with 3-0?
Langer hat trick.
Fucking hell, man! Like, what did you get?
So Langer won't be starting then.
Like, Palace are good, man. They're not going to score. Like, what do you think? We're going to go all out attack?
Oh, they've had a few hefty scorelines against them though recently, haven't they?
No, we beat them twice 1-0.
No, we haven't. But yeah, we did lose 5-0 and 5-2, didn't they? But
no, I'm saying recently.
Yeah, against
but they got screwed against 1-1-5. They should have been 3-0 up, and then Rich, man.
He missed that, didn't he? Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, you know when that third one went in, I was like ecstatic. I was jumping up and down. And then it got disallowed. And I thought, okay, they're still massacring them. You know, they're still all over them. They're 2-0 up, and then it all happened, didn't it? Oh,
it. One incident turned, just momentum just went. But it happens.
It was that free kick, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was.
All right, so Tom, you're saying 3-0, and what are you saying?
1-0 Palace.
Palace?
You know, a few weeks ago.
What's your jinx ratio like? Is he the type that says it so that it kind of jinxes it or something?
No, he's just an idiot. He just flip flops. So, Rich, what will happen? He'll say 1-0, and if we lose 1-0, he'll be like, "Well, I told you I wasn't feeling it, right?" If we win, it was like, "I didn't see that coming, but I'm not surprised it happened." One of them ones, right?
What happens, Rich, is I am second in the predictor league, and what happens is when we actually something changes, it actually says 1-0 to Forest on my prediction. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. So I've actually predicted 1-0 to Forest on the real predictor league.
Yeah, problem is, Rich, this is what he predicted, 72 points, and he's like miles off it right now.
I've got a draw against Palace.
So you've got
what have you got here? You got a draw. I've got a loss.
Yeah, we've all got a draw. Yeah, you've got a loss.
So hang on. So far, I predicted a win on the predictor league, a draw on that one, and a loss here.
And a defeat.
Now you know why I always win on my. I know I always win on my predictions.
Bro.
Somewhere.
All right, Ez, what you say?
Oh, shoot me, man! But fucking board draw, 0-0 board draw, mate.
So what happened to the W that you put here? I know you put a draw.
I didn't put a draw. I put a draw.
Trying to catch you out. I was trying to catch you out. I should have gone to Tom last. I should have. What are you saying, Rich?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 2-1 Palace.
Fucking hell, a split panel. A split panel on results. I can't believe it. All right, well, if this hasn't depressed you guys enough, fear not. I'm about to jump over onto Rich's channel. This is going to redirect you there.
It may all be different when we come back on Monday.
And that's him trying to use his little trapdoor thing to say, well, I said it could be different if we go and win.
When I'll be back, is it Tuesday night? Cool.
Yeah, Tuesday night. We'll do it next Grandpa Red's Tuesday night. So
Tuesday, yeah.
Okay, so clip the bit where I say 3-0 so you can bring it up.
Mate, do you want me to clip the bit where you said we're still in the league?
My last prediction of scores was 2-1 to Forest against Tottenham, and I got it right. And the one before that, 3-0, I got that right. So I'm going 3-0 Forest, Alanga to get a hat-trick.
I'm putting money on it right now.
£5 on it for me.
I'm going to put money on it.
The problem is, chat, Tom has said that Forest was still going to win the league and Liverpool would lose every game going to the end. And now we're
today. That's half right.
Yeah.
I knew he was going to try that line. I knew he was going to try that line. All right. So listen, go into the chat now. I'm going to send you over there. Type in there, please Palace. Please Palace. Like, some praying emojis or something, right? Make sure you've hit the like. Well, 5 likes off 200. Make sure you've hit that like button as well. Is Tom the Forest egal? Yes. Him and Ez combined are 100%, right? So it's going to send you over there right now. Don't go anywhere. We're jumping across there. We'll see you all in a second. Thank you for tuning in. We've got, wow, it's the game's tomorrow. Shit. We're going to watch it tomorrow. I can't just delay it. Come on, you Reds.
You Reds.
Please Palace in the chat. Off you go.